From World War II to the present day, there are approximately 88,000 people that are still unaccounted for.
We're standing on the lab floor of the Central Identification Lab here at JPAC in Hawaii. On the tables you see in front of you are the various cases we're working on currently.
Basically, our job is to account for the MIAs and from all past military conflicts that we have. That's our underlying mission.
Right now, I'm working on a case that came from Southeast Asia. I am sorting through the teeth. That's the bulk of the remains from this particular case were made up of teeth. Once again, teeth being the hardest substance in the body. That's not an uncommon finding. And I'm sorting through the teeth and the fragments that I have in order to determine exactly which teeth I have present and to figure out what teeth may belong to which individual.
If there's a suspected crash site, you might get a report from maybe a villager in one of the other countries might say, hey, we're tilling a field and we found a part of an airplane. Or we might suspect that a helicopter went down in a certain part of the country. And what we'll do is we have teams that we'll assign and that we'll send out to excavate and look for them. So the teams will go out and they will excavate it with host nationals helping them out. And whatever they collect and find, they will send it to Hawaii in a ceremony. And after it's repatriated to Hawaii, it's given a ceremony under the Joint Command. And then the items are taken to our laboratory where we will label it, photograph it, and then the analysis will begin. They'll lay out the skeleton, they'll arrange it, and they'll determine how many individuals are present. After they've built up their biological profile, there's an odontologist that's working in conjunction with the case many times. We need dentists. The main reason is when you look at some of the remains that we have, skeletal remains, why a lot of times they will disintegrate over time, and teeth are teeth are the hardest natural substance found in the body, the enamel is. And dental is similar to a fingerprint, I like to say, because when you look at 32 teeth and there's 5 restorable surfaces, when you take that exponentially, you're up into the millions of different combinations you have. And that doesn't take into account if a tooth is missing. It doesn't take into account the type of materials that are used, or if a tooth has had a root canal fill, or if there's something else that was done to the tooth that can add even more of something that makes it very unique to aid in the identification. What's critical for us is we have to have an idea of who it is, and we have to have access to the individual's antemortem record. There we will we'll chart out the person's antemortem condition, that is what restorations a person had prior to death, what teeth are missing, what teeth are present, what type of restorations, just like you would chart on a living person, but we reconstruct it from the record itself. Then we go and we look at the remains, and just like you would do a dental exam on a living person, you chart the remains that are present, any abnormalities or pathology. If there's decay, you chart that as well. Teeth that are missing, you mark that. They're photographed, and their images are also taken. Digital radiography is used to develop images, and then you sit down and you compare what the antemortem record indicates and the postmortem remains. And what we do is we go through a series of algorithms.
What I have here is a photograph that I made of the remains that I positioned such that I had as though I was looking in the person's mouth.
If you have a radiograph that shows a tooth missing, and yet on the postmortem remains a tooth is magically there, well, that will rule out that individual. So essentially we go through algorithms where we rule out individuals. And then if we have matches on the restorations, then we're pretty sure that is individual.
So I already know that there are 5 people on board this aircraft.
After we compile our report, we're just one report amongst many. The anthropologists compile a report, we compile a report, that everybody has a different job and a different part of the puzzle, so to speak. But the end product is to account for all the people that are missing. That's the ultimate goal that every team is doing, whether you're doing research in a library, whether you're looking at skeletal remains or dental remains, or whether you're out in the middle of the jungle in 100-degree weather digging around in the soil trying to account for information. Everybody is working for the same goal.